In the coming days and weeks, we will be focusing a lot of attention on October's federal budget. Federal budget must advance reconciliation and Canada's international obligations to respect our right to self-determination. This October budget will be the new government's first chance to commit to closing the infrastructure gap and address some of the mistrust created by Bill C-5. First Nations infrastructure priorities are matters of national interest and priority. Those needs cannot be just addressed by only trickle-down economics, what's being proposed. Specifically, we have called for strategic capital investments over 10 years to close Canada's $360 billion First Nations infrastructure gap in your communities. In addition to significant socioeconomic benefits to First Nations, this investment will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. As part of their Bill C-5 implementation plan, Canada has dedicated $40 million in funding to support First Nations participation in national infrastructure projects. And given the scale of the projects being suggested, threats to First Nations rights and the environment, this is very woefully inadequate. Canada has already tried to limit First Nations participation in the process to develop the Building Canada Act. So limiting resources required for fulsome First Nations participation in project assessment will only lead to court delays and more delays that many proponents wish to avoid.
My goal as Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations, and the goal of our government, is to build resilient economies in true partnership with First Nations. Nation building must be grounded in real equity and shared stewardship of resources, not as a lofty ideal, but as a fundamental principle. This requires deliberate action, accountability, and structures that embed Indigenous leadership at every stage. As the Prime Minister has emphasized, removing barriers to participation is not optional.